rebels choke. Fast and fierce, racing souls, tearing through the endless cold. Twisting metal, thunder growls, screams of tires, dirt that scowls. Crank it loud, boys, let it blast. Modes of fury racing fast. Southern Pride racing hours here. Fuel the fire, shift the gear. Every lap a rebel's dream. Gasoline, hearts and the scream. Dave and Dean crown the track. Each corner fight, ain't turning back. Crank it loud, boys, let it blast. Roads of fury racing fast. Southern Pride racing hours here. Fuel the fire, shift the gear. Nights alive, wheels embrace, burn the streets, set the pace. Hours, speed's the creed. Southern Pride, racing breed. Southern Pride, racing hours here. Fuel the fire, shift the gear. Nights alive, wheels embrace, burn the streets, set the pace. Hours, speed's the creed. Southern Pride, racing breed.
Yeah, we're glad to be here. Southern Fried Podcast, the SFP Racing Hour. Let me just say hello to Miss Jen and Miss Cindy. Thank you for already joining in, and we appreciate your support. And I know Miss Jen has known about this show. I don't know if Miss Cindy has. Miss Cindy, we steal her from the Angry Conservative podcast for just a little while. But thanks for dropping by, and everybody else that will jump in here. We appreciate you very much for coming and supporting the racing shows and all that we do here at Southern Fried. Dean, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. Just cold tonight.
Oh, yeah, it's a little cold. The ice man has come in. And
oh, yeah.
The wind has been bad all day. My
Yeah.
granddaughter called me and said how much she hated the wind that was blowing. She did walk home, and I got to give her credit. That's a pretty good walk from 3 streets over in that wind.
Yeah.
But she wanted to make sure I knew that she was complaining. So it's been a pretty good Monday, though, and a rough weekend. We had a good weekend on Saturday with the Southern Fried Saturday AM show and all the videos. We've had a lot of comments and a lot of viewers to those videos that we did over the weekend for Veterans Day. Shout out to all veterans and families of. We appreciate their service to the nation and keeping us free. It's the greatest country on the face of the planet where we get to enjoy racing and freedom of speech and all those things. Hey, I'm going to be quiet. We've got a special guest. You've heard me announce it. You see her on the camera, Miss Danielle Loner, and Dad is off camera, but he's here to make sure Dave doesn't get out of line. Straighten out. Dean won't do anything. You got to watch me, my mouth. If I say something wrong, Dad will get on to me. I'm just kidding. Brother Ken's in the house as well, so it's a full studio. And glad to have you here, Miss Danielle. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's an honor.
Yeah, it
and
is.
She's what was that quote you said earlier about dirt tracks that you find it
More interesting.
she finds dirt tracks more interesting. Hello, SK Potts. Good evening to you as well from the Rumble side. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Mom.
Okay, that's her account. Okay, I was thinking Potts. That sounds familiar. That's Mom. That's just Mom around here. Yeah.
Yeah.
And all you ladies, we've got it's the first time we've had a lady in the studio.
That's
so
right.
all of us guys are going to behave.
Oh, you would go back.
We're used to just having the guys here. It's good. It keeps us straight. No, she's an awesome young lady. I could tell that just by talking to her and texting with her and everything. Everything was, and by the way, thanks for your positivity. I mean, it really bled through everything that we were talking about, and I appreciate that. It ain't every day that, and maybe things are changing, and that's a good thing. And we have a young lady who does dirt track racing, and I was going down the road. I wanted to test AI on this, by the way, today, and so I tested AI, and I asked AI 2 questions, and I said one of them is how many local tracks are there? Well, they only could give me like 2 or 3, and said you better check do a search. So but AI actually did know a lot of the female race car drivers in NASCAR anyway. But I guess the first thing we'll start. First, thanks for being here, and two is that question everybody's going to ask you. I know that, but how did you get into this? What led you to it, and why do you do it?
Well, my dad raced. My granddad raced. Growing up, we went and watched on the weekends. We'd go watch. It was kind of my dad and mine's thing. My brothers weren't really into it. And then when I was 15, I went and got my first job, saved up some money. And every year that we would watch, I'd be like, Dad, when is it my turn? Like, when are we going to get me a car? He's like, next year. And then I'd saved up enough. I'd found a car down in Savannah that was race ready, had a trailer with it. And I was like, well, you ready? You're going to come take me down to get this car? And he was like, like he joked it off. He laughed it off. And I was like, no, I'm being serious. Like, let's go get it. Like, he just laughed. And I was like, well, I'm going to find a way down there if you don't want to take me. And of course, he ended up taking me. Got my first car, we went to a couple practices, blew the motor, blew the transmission, right out the gate. And then got everything kind of fixed, started kinks worked out, and here we are now.
That's amazing. So, that's dedication. Wanting to move forward with that and being, and I know as a parent, I'd be thinking, are you really serious about this? This is a big investment moving forward, but you were already making moves to do that. So I have a lot of thoughts and a lot of questions. I'm sure Dean does as well. But as you, who was there anybody that was a mentor to you as far as when you started racing and somebody said, I'm going to help you out here? Was there anybody like that, or did you just learn it the hard way?
Quite a few. My biggest thing with racing was that you just had to go out there on the track and just do it. Like, there was no practice for the practice. Like, growing up, we played ball and all kinds of stuff, and you'd practice in the yard, you'd get everything ready, you'd practice for your practice. And then with racing, I was like, you just want me to get in it and just like go out there in front of everybody? And my dad's like, yeah, you just go out there. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know about that. But now that's what you do. You go out and practice and hope everything's good. There's quite a few people that's helped me get to where I am. I have a couple of sponsors that stayed with me since the beginning. Jeff Smith in racing, they've helped us come a long way. Richard Austin and their team, Wicked Lightning, they've helped us in the beginning a lot. And then we have sponsors too, like Paige with Lashes and Waxing by Paige. She's helped us since the beginning, truly. She does all kinds of stuff. So if you want to get your lashes or you want some waxing done, hit her up.
There you go.
She's definitely helped us since the beginning, truly. She's backed us for a really long time.
Yeah, to give a shout out to Misty. That's how we found you, was through Medicare. Misty was on the, I guess is that like a magazine that she puts out for the Medicare? And her number's right there, the name and number and all that's on the side of the car. That's how we got that. Where was that taken at, by the way? That
was at Boyd's.
That was at Boyd's. Wow.
Okay.
That's a shame we don't have Boyd's anymore.
You're right.
For those that know about Boyd's Speedway. Miss Cindy says, I love dirt track. So there you go. Appreciate you, Miss Cindy. So the first race, I know you got to be nervous. Because where was the first race at, by the way? Where was that at? Do you remember? Like what track?
I think it was Boyd's.
It was Boyd's?
Mm-hmm.
How many, and what, I guess there's different types of, different types of cars and stuff. Which one were you racing in?
We raced beginner, it's a 602 car. So it's one of the bigger ones. We went in beginner. We raced beginner for a little while, for a couple of years. Now we're racing 602 with the bigger guys. We started in beginner at Boyd's. My first practice we went to was at Mountain View. Fuel pump broke, if I remember correctly. That was the start of our monkey on our back kind of situation.
Yeah.
We're 602 is where we are now with all the big guys.
Is your car a late model?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Amazing. What kind of horsepower is this thing pushing? Do we know? Dad want to chime in? He's not on camera, but He's whispering. Well,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, the 602 is just a crate motor with 350 horsepower.
350 horsepower. Okay. Anthony wants to know. Anthony's a big race car fan from Florida. What is your fastest lap time you've ever done, either in practice or during the race? If they track that kind of thing for you, I guess they do.
They do. So it depends on the track. So like our bigger tracks are going to have a slower lap time than the smaller tracks. Right now we're running in the 16-15s.
Okay. Amazing. And I'm not familiar with these cars as much, but I know safety is paramount everywhere. What kind of safety features has there been changes since you started in safety? Have they increased that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Everything has a date on it. Everything has to be replaced. Mountain View probably is our strictest track, and they check dates on everything you have, from your helmet to your gloves to your seatbelt, like everything. They check it all. And if it's not in date, they won't let you race it, which I think, honestly, it keeps us all like in line per se. Like, so the safety is like number one goal. Like, things can go wrong so easy out there, and without like top-notch safety equipment, like it can easily like hurt us really bad. We have 5-point harnesses. We have what are they called? Like neck harnesses,
like
full
the Hans
strap.
Hans device.
Okay.
Yeah, we're full strapped in. That's probably the biggest thing I've seen. It used to be like a little donut foam thing around your neck, racing in go-karts when we were kids, and now it's like full neck harness, everything.
Good.
So it's I think it's truly evolved throughout the years.
Is your car a Chevrolet, a Ford?
I think it's Chevy based. Yeah.
Right, that's what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he wanted to hear. It was Chevy. So when you and I guess what Anthony want to know, have you ever had a big wreck, like flip your car? Has that happened?
We've never flipped, knock on wood, thank the Lord.
Thank goodness. Amen.
We've gotten some pretty bad wrecks. I used to hit the wall a lot when I first started. Me and the wall knew each other very well. We replaced quite a few nose bars, in my time. Nothing like crazy, thankfully. We get hit all the time.
Yeah.
Sheet metal damaged, but thankfully nothing crazy. I'm a pretty clean driver, and usually I can feel them when they're getting up near to me, so I try to move out the way.
Yeah.
So that helps a lot. But we've not really torn nothing up like crazy. We try to keep it in one piece.
Yeah. What kind of hearing protection? I'm assuming you're using some hearing protection. What kind of you use on that?
We have receivers, so that's how they talk to us from the tower. We don't have spotters or anything, but they can talk to us from the tower and let us know if the leader's coming up behind us or if there's caution that we can't see. Because we are strapped in, you can't really see much going on. We have headphones. There are not headphones, like earplugs that you can mold to your ear that has the receiver in it, so you can connect it and hear that way.
Yeah, that's cool. We wear those at work.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard bands use the same kind. They're just a more expensive kind,
Right.
the molded, and you can pump that right in there so you can hear that. Anthony wanted to know, where do you feel like you're the slowest, the straightaways or the turns, or what do you feel like that's you're the slowest at? She's not going to say slow, man. Come on. You got to hammer down all the way around the track.
That's right.
Depends on the track. Depends on, if it's dry slick, if it's tacky, depends on the how the track is. The turns are going to be our slowest because you're letting off, and the straightaways are going to be your fastest. That's where you gain a lot of your time. But if your corner entry, how much you let off, how much you turn is going to determine how fast your time is. The quicker you can get back on the grass, the quicker your times are going to be as well. It just depends on the track. Because if you have a dry track, you're not going to be able to just hammer down around the entire track. But if you have a tacky track, you can just floor it basically the whole time and barely let up, and it'll rotate. Which most of us, I prefer a tacky track because you can just hammer down and not let up and just do your own thing and not have to worry about it.
I do too.
I like that. What I've never raced. A lot of people listening probably have, unless they did an experience or something, maybe not. What does that feel like to be on that race car when you're getting ready to kick off? They're getting ready to go green flag, and that's got to be an adrenaline rush of all adrenaline to do that.
It's the quietest thing I've ever heard, which makes no sense. But like when you strap in, it's like peace for me. Like it's the quiet. I can't hear anything. Like it's just calm. Until you get out there, and it's like my mind's kind of just nothing's going through my head. It's just like you go out there and just do it. Which I probably should have stuff going through my head, honestly, but I don't. It's just peace.
You're one with the car and the track. NC native, who is from North Carolina, obviously always has these funny sayings that he says, but he likes racing and gives us. Thank you for being in here tonight, and what an amazing young lady, and going to school, and and I think you said, was it radiology? Did I say that right? Radiology. So she's going to school, racing, and I love it, living your dreams, and we want to help people like that. Sigma says, I like lawnmower races. Seriously, it's fun. Have you ever done any other kind of racing but this? Is there anything else that you did?
Nope.
Go-kart or anything?
Mm-mm.
That's truly amazing. I have tremendous respect for you. And getting out there doing it. I grew up my whole life thinking, I don't want to look bad. I want to look good. I was always afraid what somebody's going to say. And speaking of that, when you first started, what was the attitude of the other drivers? Was there an attitude? Did they give you a hard time? Did you have to pay your dues and earn that respect?
Yeah. I wasn't the most liked. People will run you over and get you out of the way. And my first year, I gave a lot of room. Someone came up on me, I'd move off, and then my second year, I started, kind of, I deserve to be here just as much as anyone else.
Exactly.
And then you start beating and banging a little bit. And now, it's to a different extent. I think I've grown a lot. If you're going to hit me, I'm going to hit you back. If you put me in the wall, I'm going to put you in the wall, kind of thing. And I truly had to, force myself into that because I'm a pretty clean driver. I try to stay away from everyone. I don't want to tear my equipment up because I put everything I have is from me and Dad, and I don't want to pay for a whole new front end. I don't want to pay for all that. So I'm going to try to keep everything clean. But if you hit and beat and bang, it's going to come back to you, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Because that's a big respect thing. They'll stop. If you hit them back, then usually they'll stop and back off. But if you don't and you allow that, then they'll just keep beating banging on you each week. And I've seen that last couple of races we've raced, they were pretty clean until the end, and we've had some issues. And I just don't want to tear my equipment up. We had a car this year that was sponsored to us, so I didn't want to tear it up. But if it was my car, probably wouldn't end it so nicely.
Let Dean ask some questions. I know he has some, and I don't want to hog the time.
No, that's fine.
You're good.
During the off season, do you do iRacing in the off season, or do you play any games like that during the off?
Well, I'm not too good at iRacing, which probably would help me if I could get good at it. But my issue with iRacing is that in our little contraption thing we have with the race seat and everything, I flip it over. Because I expect when you go in the turn in a regular car, you're getting pushed, your body's moving, and I do that, and then I flip the whole machine over, and it doesn't end too well. I'm pushing the gas, and we're about to go through the wall. It's a whole experience. I probably should work on that, honestly. Mm-hmm. But I'm not good at it all. Yeah, no.
That's cool. What about?
I'm listening, learning.
Yeah. What about influence on young people, especially girls? Have you had young girls mention to you something about do they see you and kind of root for you, or how's that went?
For the most part, I think so. They'll see me and they don't think it's real, or they freak out and they're like, that you don't usually see a lot of females. There's not many of us. There's a handful of us, and we're around the same age. A lot of us are. Usually it's a surprise. I feel like most of the time it's a surprise. I'm like, well, are you the driver? And they'll point to Dad. Or they're like, a lot of people, if they come up to us and stuff, they're like, well, they'll talk to him. And he's like, well, she's the driver if you want to talk to her, kind of thing. Or the autographs. That's pretty funny. I think it's the funniest thing ever. They'll go up to him with it. And he's like, yeah, no, that's her, not me.
Late model, Anthony. Late model. NC Native says, I tell you always coming up with something. Danielle's motto is, you don't have to be in the pits to pull a pit maneuver. Absolutely.
I like that.
NC Native also asked the question, is small track dirt racing 50% drifting?
Yeah, I'd say so. But we don't drift like you see in the movies, like with a like an e-brake or something like that. We use mostly it's in the back end of the car, like it's gonna roll over on the bars on the back end. Um, a lot of it's with your throttle and brake, and that's your control really. Um, it's not like the movies at all. Like we don't have like the e-brake, you don't pull it and just like, spin around kind of thing. So it's really different. Until you get in a car, it's totally different what you expect. And it's like our cars, we have like we mash the clutch and the gas to go in pit gear. Then you have to let off and get into direct drive. And then you can drive fine normal like that until you slow back down. So it's kind of off and different from like a regular stick shift too. So it's kind of different, I guess, in the same sense in like regular drifting.
Okay. Anthony also asked, do you feel like you're dealing with the older drivers in terms of sexism, that they have this mentality that women still don't deserve to be on the same track? Is that still something that you deal with, at least somewhat?
To an extent, I'd say so. If you pass someone cleanly, like I've had issues in the past where people come up and try to, take me out or put me in the wall. I've had issues like that. And then if you do it back to them, they don't expect you to do it back. So then they get upset about it.
Yeah.
I've had a couple issues like that where people don't expect me to retaliate. Kind of like I can do it, but you can't do it kind of thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people, they don't like it. Their little egos get hurt with it, which I guess is understandable because they're not used to it. But I definitely say I see it a lot more because like it's me against 23 other guys, so it's getting passed by a girl. I can see how it'd be seen as like you're less because you did get passed by a girl, but I don't see it. Like when I strap in, I'm just like them. Like I don't see any difference.
Is the age groups all over the place, or is it tend to be younger, older, a mix, or?
For the most part, it's all over the place. Like there's one guy, he's in his like 80s. Red Farmer. 80s.
I've heard that name.
I heard it. Yeah.
Where did we hear that name at? Did you
I
do
did.
you did a story on him?
Yes, I did.
Red Farmer.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
If you can get Red Farmer for us somehow to get an interview, that'd be
Yeah.
we covered him. We actually
did,
highlighted him in a story. I don't remember if that was one that Kim told us about, or you discovered.
No,
that.
it's in my notebook.
It's in your notes. But,
Yes.
But yeah, it's I just wonder about that. Kind of how that is. But how long have you been racing now? I mean, how many years?
This was my 5th season, so next
wow.
year will be my 6th.
Okay.
Amazing. And folks, we're going to hopefully find a way to partner here. We're hoping to get on the car as one of the sponsors of the podcast, and hopefully work around our schedule and get to some of the races and cover some of it, and hopefully lead to some other interviews as well. Do you think in the time that you've been racing, is dirt track, is it about the same as far as the popularity? Is it going up? Is it went down because of the economy? It's expensive. Where's it at right now? I don't have a clue.
I think the tracks themselves, I feel like they're hurting because it is expensive. It does cost to get in. Just to get into like the stands, it costs. There are some tracks that have lowered their prices. Mountain View is an amazing track. It's like $5 to get in, and so they have a ton of people there. It's always packed. Same thing with like Dixie. They have like their own crowd. They're always packed. But then like North Georgia, I think they struggle on that side a little bit. I don't think it's as known as well. Like when I'm out working and stuff, people have no clue what dirt racing is. They've never heard of it and they've never been around it. So I think that plays a big part of it, as well as like advertisement. Like I feel like dirt racing is not as advertised as NASCAR is, or any of the bigger stuff like that, or drag. So I definitely think that plays a lot into it. It plays into our side. So like we pay for everything majority. And so it's $40, $45, $50 to get in a person for us in the pits. And so that's $90 between me and him. And that's a lot of money, not including like entry fees or your transponder fees. Like there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. The gas there, the gas back, like there's a lot of things that play into it on like a driver's side, as well as like a fan side to it. A lot of tracks are making it more like family friendly, and like they're having like food trucks come, and like I see people there. Like North Georgia's really grown in a way of like trying to what's the words, like I guess not entice people, I guess, to come. Like they have all kinds of people set up. it's a great thing. I think that if our younger generation could get more into it, like it would be booming.
Do they have their own vendors, or they have vendors come in at these tracks to sell like the food and stuff or memorabilia? How does that work? At the
So
tracks?
most of the times, like the food is on them. They will have people come in and do like cotton candies and like ices and like stuff like that as well. Nortrose has been more on the side. You'll see a bunch of them. Boyd's was like a set deal. Like it was an awesome experience. They had food trucks. They had like all these candy people and like boiled peanuts. And, like they offered so much stuff. They really hit it, I think, on the nail. They were always packed because it wasn't just like dirt racing. You could go and your entire family could do something. So I think if more tracks were leaning into that, I think they'd have a lot more, I guess, fan experience.
Is there any hope of them coming back? Have you heard anything? I mean, I hate that Boyd's is not there. I'd love to go.
Personally don't think it's coming back. When we first heard about it, we thought, in the first couple of years, like it was coming back. And then to this point, like they've tore down like all kinds of stuff there. The people who got it is a construction company, and I think that they wanted to build houses on it, but because of all the oil and stuff, I'm sure like you really can't build on top of stuff like that for a while. Yeah. So right now it's just like a lot for trucks to park.
That's sad.
Yeah, it's really
the
sad
drag strip is still there, right?
Yeah, they're running.
Okay, because that was the drag strip. I used to be a Boy Scout at that drag strip.
Did you ever go watch drag racing? Do you ever watch it?
I've seen it a few times. I think it's cool, but they only go like a very short distance.
Right.
Stop.
Yeah.
So it's.
How long are the races? Is it by laps or? So how many laps usually?
So we don't go as many laps as like NASCAR does. Like our motors won't handle that. We go about anywhere from 15 to like 25, and then on the big races for the bigger guys, they race up to 40 and 50.
Oh, wow. I didn't know they'd go that far. So what size is most of the tracks distance-wise around?
They change, or they're all different. I'd say Rome, Dixie, and I-75 are the biggest around here. They're like 3/8, yeah. And then you have like Mountain View, which is like the smallest little bean track I've ever seen. It's like a bull ring. How big would you say?
And where was Mountain View?
Spring City.
I need to go there. It
sounds good
to go.
Doesn't
that sound fun?
Yeah, it does.
We're going to take a road trip.
Yeah.
And all their amenities, like their bathrooms, they have like a playground for the kids.
Oh,
like,
great.
Honestly, and their food's great. Everything's really cheap too. And so truly, like they've given back, I think, to like racers, and
great.
Like you can afford to go there and take your entire family, and it'd be a whole outing for them.
That's great. Let me catch up with some of the comments. NC Native says, I hear that in dirt trucking, you're always in the marbles. I guess things get, just, you said you kind of like that kind of different kind of a surface though, and things that you're on. But, I imagine spin-outs are probably common, right?
Yeah, for sure. It definitely depends on how the track surface is. And then yourself, like you can spin yourself out so much easier, or like someone spins you out. So it really just depends, honestly. But honestly, I'd say at least once in every class.
Wow. NC Native also, who would you rather have as your teammate, Shauna Robinson or Donica Patrick?
I don't know.
That may be a hard one. There you go.
Yeah, it's a hard one.
And a companion to that, Anthony asked, who are your idols in terms of how you race? And are you a big Donica Patrick fan?
Well, I don't watch NASCAR.
Yeah, that's right. She doesn't watch NASCAR
as much. Like I've seen it to an extent, but I don't keep up with as much. I don't really know. In dirt world, I have quite a few, but in NASCAR, I don't know.
Is there a driver in the dirt that is a female that you've looked up to and found inspiration from?
There's not that many females, so I wouldn't say female. Most of them are older guys that I definitely would look up to, and they're in like the bigger stuff.
What would be a couple names of those gentlemen that you could think
I'd
of?
say
locally, on the
locally,
spot, but
locally, I would say like Richard Austin. He helps a lot of people. His cars are like top notch, 100% around here. Jeff Smith, does great whatever he's in, wherever he goes, he's awesome. And then the bigger guys, I would say Jimmy Owens has always been one of my bigger people. His number is 20, so it's kind of like that's my number, so it's kind of my thing. I grew up watching him. Jonathan Davenport, they're all up there, and they're like amazing drivers.
Dale McDowell.
Dale McDowell, he's local, yeah. Well, he's from here, but he's like
Right.
he goes up to the big races too.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he's in with, what is it, Locust Oil?
Yeah, those are the big ones.
How'd you pick your number?
My granddad's number was 20.
Oh, awesome. I love the tie-in. Numbers are important.
Yes,
That's the
yes.
number you're tied to. Let's see a couple other questions. And as a competitor yourself, do you feel, this is from Anthony, do you feel that racing in general has priced out the working class in terms of getting a license and points and also getting teams? Is it cost, is people left it just because
Yes.
they say I can't do it anymore?
It's so expensive. And people sell out all the time. There's quite a few big drivers that sold out because it's so expensive. Like our fuel for one barrel is like close to $400,
Oh my
and
goodness.
that's 50 gallon or right like 45 gallons. So it's crazy, and like we'll go through that pretty quickly depending on how many races we race. The motor upkeep from the car's upkeep, metal, the gas on the truck to get there and back, like transponder fees when we get to the track, or what's it called? Our fees to get in, like it racks up. It's truly a money pit. And without sponsors, like it's really hard for us. And it's just me and my dad. So really it's on us for a lot of it.
And before we go any further, because that's important and we wanted to help you in that way, we're hoping to work out some kind of deal
Right.
that we can be on as well. But folks, if you just like to give and donate, how could they do that to you? How could they, is there a way to do that that they could give to you? If you want to go ahead and give that out, and I'll have them send it to me and we'll put it out on all of our streams as well.
You can message me on like through Facebook, stuff like that. We have a Venmo account. Let me look at the name for it.
While she's looking at that, folks, give a help. I mean, every little bit helps. There's no too small amount. I mean, because it's going to go to something, and
Right.
it is expensive, and we've talked about that. Sigmund wants to know, do they have barbecue and beer at these tracks?
Some of them do.
So
Some
yes.
of them do.
So what was it? Did you find it?
Yeah. So it's Danielle and then L_2092. And
All
that's our
right.
Venmo.
Send that to me if you don't
Okay.
mind, and we'll make sure that gets out, and we'll get a QR code as well, and we'll just start popping you up in some of the shows and say, hey, give to Danielle.
Thank you.
So also, do you need mud flaps after a rain delay?
Yeah. Everything gets muddy. There's mud everywhere, especially once they run it back in after a rain delay. Oh my goodness, there's mud and everything.
Makes it great.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's everywhere. It's red. It's lovely.
That's lovely. I love that.
On the cars, on the fans,
On you. Yeah.
on the car.
Yeah.
What is your favorite short track, half mile? If I don't know if they do half mile, or you said 3/4, and or smaller, bigger. What is your favorite?
I prefer the bigger tracks because they're more open. My favorite would be Rome. Rome it's a beautiful place down there. And it's always, the crowd it's always packed. There's always tons of people there. And it's basically you're wide open the entire time. It's always tacky. So it's one of my favorite places to go.
Pedal to the metal. I like that.
Yes.
Yes, Line King, better wear earplugs. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they do that. Let's see here. I have Anthony. I've been looking at them. I'm catching up. Line King Dragwation wears earplugs, especially when you get the ones with the jet engines. Yeah. During a race, during a race, do you feel like you can perform better on longer runs with more tacky tires, or perform better on newer tires after a pit stop?
So we don't do pit stops. So we run our tires all night. Newer tires will have better traction. So you're going to feel that 10 times better than if you have tires you run all year. It depends. So we have hard and soft tires depending on what track allows. Some tracks allow you to run open tires. Some makes you run certain ones, some certain types. It just depends. So that definitely plays a huge factor in our racing, because once they get hot, some of them will wear away and you won't have traction left. So it definitely plays a big part in our racing.
Do you use Hoser tires, Goodyear?
We use Hoosier or we use American Racer. Those are the two bigger ones.
You use what, American what now?
American Racer.
Awesome. By the way, James says he thinks that you're already having a NASCAR withdrawals, Dean.
Oh, yes, I am. Yes. Thanks, James. I knew you'd say something. I knew you would.
NC said his number would have to be 0 because he can't count that good. So, hello, Brother Cook. Go Dale Earnhardt Jr., my man. Oh, he's not racing now.
No, he ain't. He's behind the times.
But he's a big sports fan. I don't know how much he watched racing, but maybe he watches some. I don't remember Brother Cook. If you, he's a big Dallas Cowboy fan, so he's saying "Go Cowgirls," but they have been playing good anyway.
No.
So if you were to get started, just an estimated figure, what did it take you to get started in this sport, price wise?
Nowadays, I'd say up to $10,000.
Wow.
Just basics. When I bought my car, I bought it for $5,000. And that was just luck of the draw. Somebody was, had everything and they were selling out. Not only do you have the car, you have the motor, the transmission, your seat belts. Like it racks up pretty quickly, not to mention the trailer you have to carry it with, all the safety equipment, your fuel. Like it definitely racks up very quickly.
Is your trailer closed or is it open trailer?
We have two. So we have an enclosed and a closed. So the first one we bought was it was open. And then now we have a big enclosed trailer.
What kind of gas do you use? Where do you get that gas? Do they sell it there, or do you have to bring your own, or what?
Either. So they do sell it there. Usually it's like $8 to $12 a gallon there, though, which is like super expensive.
Wow.
And then we get it from a wholesaler here. We run E85 right now. We used to run 110, depends on like carburetors and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's quite expensive right now.
Thank you, Miss. Thank you, Mom.
Thanks, Mom.
Says we're doing a great job. Very interesting. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Mom.
NC Native, about 350 horsepower, I think they said. Who does all your mechanic work? Ken wants to know.
So I try to do as much as possible. But Dad really fills the gaps there because, getting into this, I had no clue what I was doing. Without him, we wouldn't be here. He does a lot of the stuff. And he picks up a lot of the slack that I haven't been able to pick up lately because I've been in school and I work. So it's truly like we wouldn't be here without him. He does.
Awesome.
Are you want to make a full-time career out of this racing?
I wish. I wish I could be up there with him, but it takes so much money. Like so much money. The top guys, they're running on their sponsored cars.
Mm-hmm.
Their teams. So they have so much money coming in, or they can put out to it that like it's insane.
What's your goal to make it to the to the Lucas Oil? Do you want to go to NASCAR? What's your?
I mean, honestly,
what's
like
your out goal?
Take money out and everything. Like that'd probably be like to run up with like the top guys in like the area, the world. Honestly, like that truly would be like top goal of everything. Money wise, unless I find somebody with like a ton of money. We'll stay local. But I mean, you can always dream and hope.
Yes.
Have you ever got to a track and they said your car's not legal and you couldn't race? Has that ever happened?
Yes.
I imagine that's got to stink pretty bad.
Yeah. They have their rule books and stuff you're supposed to follow. Some classes when we're running beginner, they would let you run, and they'd have different rules. Our first win, we were running. It technically we weren't legal for it. We won it. We weren't legal for it. We had like you're supposed to have a 4-inch spoiler. We had an 8-inch spoiler. The wheels were supposed to be steel wheels. We had aluminum. So it's basic stuff like that. Like our motor's legal, like all our stuff like that truly matters. It was all legal. It was just little stuff that they got us for. But that, honestly, I was so far ahead, that wouldn't have mattered.
There you go. I like that.
I do too.
Blowing them away.
Yes.
Do they have a post-race inspection?
Yes. The local races, it's not so bad. Like you over the scales, you have to weigh a certain amount. They'll check your motor, check your tires, check, your deck height and stuff like that. But the bigger the races are, the more they inspect. The higher the races, they'll do like tire inspections. They'll take a tire sample, send it off to a lab, and make sure you're not like doping your tires. They'll check motors. They'll make you pull off like your headers, or not your headers, your
the heads.
Yes, your heads.
Yeah.
There we go. They'll check everything. Like it gets a lot deeper into the motor, or you can get protested with stuff if someone doesn't think you're legal, and then you have to tear down like completely to see if you're legal with seals and stuff. So it truly can get really deep.
There was a guy I ran into once that worked for our company, and they did this, and I think they were at, was there a track at Chatsworth? Is that North Georgia?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they were at North Georgia then. They had got their heads done by, I won't name the company, but somebody very local, and they won the race. But when they did the post-race inspection, they said it wasn't the correct.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, they went back to that company, and they said, "Oh, we did it all right." So they just got stuck in the middle. They lost all that money, and plus they said they had to have them redone. And he was very frustrated. That had just happened, and this has been many, many years ago. But I just imagine that's got to be frustrating,
Yeah, I would definitely went back to the company. But there's also like some of the guys you see that do tech, like I feel like sometimes they're not trained fully. Like there's a lot of error that can happen on a race night. There's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of factors that factor in. And so stuff could easily get just bypassed and someone not know, and it could contaminate. It could do a lot of stuff. So there's I guess a lot of factors that you could go back on with that.
I imagine you probably know this person, but someone said, "I'm so proud of you." Linda Loner. So I don't know who that is, but I imagine in the late model, do you see drivers adjusting the cars like you see in regular stock car racing? Work with drivers for over a year in NASCAR basically had a piece of the back bumper out to get downforce, like they doing some things, maybe some. Is there cheating? Have you seen that? There's a cheating that goes on.
If you're not cheating, you're not winning.
I like that.
I noticed that look, like what can we get away with? Yeah.
Yeah, you push as far as you can. Because everyone is doing it. Like if you're not running to some extent legally, like a lot of the guys top are running to some extent legally. There's a lot of workarounds you can do. We're legal. We're fully legal.
Well, they say if they don't call a foul, it's not
right. If you don't get caught doing it, I mean, just depends on what you do and how far you go into it.
I know NASCAR, after the minute race, they take the first, second, third car for inspection. Then they randomly pick a car in the field. Do they do that in dirt?
No. So it's usually top three. Usually they'll have the fourth one just in case something happens. But for the most part, it's just top three.
Ken said, just don't get caught.
Right.
How many cars are typically in a race on average?
Usually 24 is your max. Sometimes they'll do a little bit more than that, but usually 24 is max, and they'll start having like B mains and stuff like that.
Well, that seems like a lot. I didn't expect that many, to be honest. So y'all do how do they rank you? Do you do a run around the lap? Do you do laps?
Yeah, so we'll do sometimes we'll do hot laps, and that's just they'll give you like 3 laps just to run around, get your tires, see how the track is, let you change stuff. And then you'll qualify or you'll do heat races. So usually they'll qualify you, and that's whatever time you get, as fast as you can get. And that'll put your starting place in the feature. Sometimes they will do heat races, and those are usually pretty, I think it shows who your true racers are. Sometimes they'll do it random, selected, however you start in the heat race, and then you just have to race to whatever position you get to start in. Or some of them will qualify you, then do heat races. And wherever you start in the heat race, usually it's about 8 laps, and you have to get, obviously you try to get as far forward as you can. A lot of people don't like that, I feel like, especially nowadays, because you have to race your way around traffic that usually you wouldn't be in front of you if you just qualified. So it definitely challenges a lot of people, and a lot of people don't like that. They'd rather just start up front and just not worry about it. But I think it truly shows you who can race to the front.
James said what we used to say in the wrestling business: win if you can, lose if you must, but always cheat. I've never heard that, but I've heard it. That's pretty interesting. I'll put that on the screen. But for those, and thank y'all for all of y'all for coming in here. We've got a good crowd, a lot of people partaking in the questions, and again, support them if you can.
Is your helmet a full face helmet, or is it enclosed any?
Yeah, it's full enclosed, and everything connects to it on the outside.
Do you wear glasses in the race, or do you wear contacts?
I wear my glasses, so I'll push them back there and just hope nothing happens to me.
Have you ever I mean, you've been in some wrecks, obviously. You said you and the wall were on a first name basis, I
Mhm.
think, or something like that. What does that feel like physically after something like that? I mean, your body.
It hurts. There's some of them like this last couple of weeks that we raced. I'd gotten hit on quite a few times, and it hurts truly. Like you wake up, sometimes you'll have bruises, like you get beaten, banged around. Flipping, I would say I haven't flipped, but I've seen the aftermath of that. Like I couldn't imagine like you would be in some pain. I will. It depends if you get hit hard enough. Like I'll wake up and I can feel it in my arms, and then I'll feel it in my shoulders where my harnesses were. Usually it's in my shoulders where everything gets pulled.
Yeah. Do you have she hasn't flipped, but have you went airborne? NC Native wants to know, have you went airborne?
Yeah, I think a few times. I think I'd went up the wall and came back down a few times. Thankfully nothing crazy. Like I feel like I'm pretty calm. Sometimes we get into like crazy stuff, but nothing too airborne.
Yeah. So when this how many races race tracks do you try to do? Is it every week, or do you skip some weeks, or how long is that season for dirt track?
So we start in usually it's about end of March, and they usually run until October, like usually weekly to every other week, and then they'll usually do like a November race for Thanksgiving. Sometimes you'll see some of them do one for like early December for like Christmas, and then there's like the Ice Bowl that's like beginning of January. It's the most coldest race ever down at Talladega. So there's a few here and there, and they'll do like practices right before race season starts, and we're at the end of it trying to help people. But it's I feel like it's a full season. Like most of the year we're racing.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the more you do it, the more you have to be ready for all those things, and being ready for it. And do you race multiple races while you're there, or just one or two, or?
So we just do one. So you'll do your hot lap qualify, and then you'll be set in the feature. Usually they have multiple classes running, so
Right.
it takes all night. You'll do one race, and that's about it. One full race.
Now, not that you would be involved, but have you seen fights? People throwing the fist,
Yeah.
or at least hitting the car with their helmet or
Oh
something.
yeah. I've been chased once. Didn't know I was being chased. That was a situation. But yeah, I've had some people come after me after races.
I imagine Dad's about ready to come out of the stands around the pits and say, "Hey,
He was.
I bet he was.
He had them.
we ain't gonna have none of this." What tracks do you feel waste more gas than you feel that you're pushing your gas tank the most in terms of fuel consumption? How much do you use during a race? That's a good question.
So it definitely depends. Like I feel like some races there's a lot of cautions. So if we're cautioning back to back to back, you're running like a ton of caution laps, and then you're wasting a lot more gas. Some days we go through a ton. Some days we're barely losing like 10, 15 gallons because our tanks aren't very big. And we use it for weight on the car.
Yeah.
I'd say we use probably like 8 gallons at a time, usually at a race. Which I feel like it's not too bad with how many laps we take. Yeah.
Do you ever hear people complaining about the price of gasoline at the regular stations and go, "Well, you already have to pay for it. I pay for it."
Yeah. Especially if you like run out or something, or you use more than you expect, and you have to get it at the track, $12 a gallon, and we fill up one little 5-gallon jug. Like it's costly for sure.
I bet.
Broski says, "Are you an adrenaline junkie? Have you ever gone skydiving or base jumping?"
No. I have sort of a fear of heights, so that bungee jumping and like skydiving, not my thing. My brother loves that kind of stuff. I like to stay on the ground.
Me too.
I do like adrenaline. I think that racing, it gives you such a high. That sounds probably really bad. I don't do drugs.
I don't either.
Okay. Anyway, it's a surreal feeling. Like you don't get it doing anything else, and it's honestly the most calmest thing I've ever done. It's so peaceful, and that sounds so crazy when you like watch it. But I don't get that with anything else, and it's just like this calm, like quiet, nothing. It's silence.
Have you run out of gas though in a race? Is it go that far that you've actually been close or almost run out of gas? Or?
No. Usually, since we use it for weight, like our tanks usually pretty full. I know that they do some races that they've had to stop them. They'll stop them at the 50 I think so, like the 50 lap mark. If they go more than that, and they'll let them refuel and they'll restart it.
Do they do anything like the NASCAR with a green flag, checkered flag kind of finish where they've wrecked and they've had to get going and you've got like a lap or two?
Yeah. They do green, white, checkered pretty often, honestly. Like, depends on how, like, rough we're racing. Like, sometimes it's a lot of caution. Some nights, like, the last couple of races we've had, honestly, have gone green flag to checkered, and it's, we love those races. But sometimes, especially in 602, everybody's trying to get everywhere so quick, and they're, like, hitting on each other. We're spinning people out. We're wrecking everybody. That's what makes it fun, though, I think, to watch. Like, we're not just driving in a big circle. We're driving.
And that's the thing we hear. You know, the people say they're not athletes. They just drive in a circle. It really makes me mad.
It does me.
That people would say, what do you say to people like that? That they just say, they're just driving in a circle. You know, it takes no talent. What do you say to that?
Usually you hear a lot of people that'll talk big game. But until you get into a car, it's totally different. Like my cousin, actually, he talks big game until he got in my car and he almost drove it through a garage. Yeah, Brett, if you're watching this, but he's talking big game. He'd get in there and just, you know, and you hear people do it all the time. Like, I can get in there, I could drive it better, I could be faster, I could do this, that, and the other. And until you truly get in a car, like, you have no idea. And you think you're going, when you first start, you think you're going so fast. It feels so fast, and you're, like, barely moving around the track. Like, I think that's really funny when people do get in a car and they're, like, not even barely moving, and they're like, I was going so fast.
My cousin used to dirt race. And that's what got me into racing, watching it, because I used to watch him race.
Yeah, it's different. I think it's better than NASCAR because there's so much going on, and it's not 500 laps.
Yeah. Do you feel like the drivers are athletes? Because that's, you know, you hear that too. They're not athletes,
right.
You know.
Yeah. I think so to an extent. I mean, we're not running and we're not, you know, jumping and doing all kinds of crazy stuff, but it takes a toll on your body. It truly does. And like the longer we run, the more your body's drained, and like the effects after, like I'll feel it for a couple of days after. And just like a strenuous race where you're going like green to checkered, like you'll feel it the next day just because it's so intense and you're throwing a car around a turn, it, you know, going fast. It just, your body is not used to that. So you'll feel it.
James has a great comment here. He says, very good interview. Thanks for joining the show. We are all part of your fan base now.
Yeah, we are.
Thank you.
Yeah, we definitely are. Like we have a connection.
Yeah.
Don't mess with our girl.
Right.
We'll be up there in the stands. Let's see. What is the longest race you've ever had to race where it's gone? Does it go to overtime? Does it have extra laps?
Usually there's a time limit. So like if there is like a ton of cautions, they'll only go to like a certain amount because some of them have like time limits or like not time limits, a curfew. Curfews. And like they can only go to like 11 or 12, and so they have to keep it very quick. So they'll have time limits, but for the most part, we try to get as many laps as we can in.
Timothy Rackley, 3815. I definitely do like the adrenaline rush. Was that?
That's my brother.
That's the brother, and he said another one. It ain't got no gas in it. That sounds like an inside joke there. Awesome. Anthony, for late model, what are the different sizes and classes in terms of how big the car can get and how big the gas tanks are? Is there limits to that?
Yeah, so everything's limited with our cars. The motors determine your class. So like the bigger your motor gets, the different classes. Gas tanks, I think it
doesn't matter because
I think there's rules to like it has to be like see it in the car certain ways and stuff to that extent, but for the most part you can do what you want.
Awesome. Let's see what else here before we let you go, because we're quickly running out of our hour. We appreciate you so much for being here.
Yeah, we do.
And I'm sorry, Anthony, this is Miss Danielle Loner. He wanted to know your name. And you're fine, and I appreciate you coming into the chat. Ken says there is a skill to turn right to go left.
Nice.
And Linda Loner, her name is Danielle Loner, number 20. Thank you for that, Miss Linda. And the only way I could drive faster than Danielle is if I tied to a C-130. James, the guys will definitely have to plan a road trip we're going to do that.
Yeah, we
watch
are.
you race and win, he says.
Right.
We're definitely going to do that.
Yeah.
Kay, Mom says, as for Dean's withdrawal, you'll never know until you live in this house. It's like Dean has nothing to watch. Anthony says, I got a nickname for Danielle, Ace. Do you have a nickname that they call you on the track? Well, we'll say, is there a clean nickname for you on the track?
Some of the tracks over the receiver, over the announcements, when they'll call our names from the list, they'll call me Daniel. Usually if Daniel gets called, I don't race well, and usually it's a wreck. Usually it doesn't end well. The car is not in, it's in multiple pieces. So like we hear Daniel, we're like, that's not great. I've also been called Don Von Rio once. That night was pretty rough. I feel like we ended up in multiple pieces. So they get my names, unless they know me personally, like usually they get my name wrong and it's like Daniel or something crazy.
That's amazing. Well, let's do Dean's notes real quick. Dean, you want to?
Yes.
Always do Dean always does his notes, and we'll let you rest them. I know we've just shotgunned so many questions to you, and we have 1,000 more, but we're not gonna get to all of them tonight. We do want you to come back.
Yes.
And again, partner with us and check in as often as you want. Let us know how you're going and the racing's going. And how many have you won? I mean, I think I heard you say you won. How many races have you won?
We won one officially.
One officially. Where was that at?
At Rome.
At Rome. Oh, that's why she likes Rome. The win. Is it just the Rome track, or is there a name for that?
It's Rome Speedway, yeah.
Rome Speedway. I like that. See, when you're great, you don't have to have
Right.
but it's just Rome. I like that.
As for Mom's question, yes, I'm having withdrawals. Yes. I don't know what to watch now.
James says, tough as nail, Danielle. And Anthony, thank you, Danielle, for doing this interview. And even though I live in Florida, I hope I can get to some of your races. And that's all. By the way, merch, y'all do merch?
Yeah. We have new shirts we're planning on doing next year. What's her name? Paige, the one who does the waxing and lashes. She is the one made our shirts made them for next year. So we're planning on doing stuff like that as well.
Awesome. All right, Dean, let's go to Dean's notes and then we'll wrap up the show.
All right. Last week, as you know, was a NASCAR awards show.
That's right.
Okay. Corey Haim got the truck champion.
He did.
Connor Zilic got the Xfinity champion. Kyle Larson got the Cup champion.
Yes.
Yes.
Bubba next year. Just
Oh,
kidding.
Lord. Bubba train. We don't want the Bubba train. it was derailed. Kyle Larson, two-time champion that was.
Yeah.
Chase Elliott, five-time champion, five-time popular driver.
Just said it. Yeah. Popular.
Not champion, popular. Justin Allgaier got the most popular in the Xfinity series.
Okay.
Roger Caruth got the Craftsman most popular champion in the truck series. Shane Van Gisbergen got the Cup Series Rookie of the Year.
He deserved that.
Yes. Connor Zilic got the Rookie of the Year in the Xfinity series. Gio Rogero got the Rookie of the Year in the Craftsman Truck Series. Chevrolet won all three manufacturer awards.
I bet you just love that.
I did. Joey got the Myers Brothers Award.
Okay.
Kate O'Neill got the Betty Jean France Humanitarian Award from Alabama, who founded Care Closet for providing food and clothes for 11,000 children in 15 public schools.
Wow.
Comcast Community. Sorry, folks. Carly Grace and Daniel Dye for sponsoring Race to Stop Suicide. Real Power leaves Team Penske, goes to Andretti. SRX sells physical assets to GMS Racing. Parker and Landon is banner holders for Junior Motorsports. Corey Day would go full driving next year in the 17 in O'Reilly Auto Parts Series for Hendrick Motorsports. Adam Wall is a crew chief. Justin Haley, Brandon Butterbean Crane will drive Dodge Ram trucks in 2026 Craftsman Truck Series for Carly Grayson. Daniel Dye will also drive Dodge Ram.
You got like anybody named Butterbean. I kind of like that.
Yes, he's a good driver.
He is.
That's Dean's notes.
All right. Thank you, Dean, for Dean's notes. All this is brought to you by our sponsors, which we are now affiliated with the Hodge Twins, and Patriot Mobile and Mammoth Nation and many, many others. Thank you for Dean for the work you do and putting in the notes. Miss Danielle, thank you so much for being here. Any closing thoughts from you? We've asked you a lot of things. Is there anything we didn't get to that you wanted to say tonight?
I don't think so. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
I feel like we covered a lot of it, most of it.
We did cover a lot. Thanks, Dad, for being here off
Thank
screen
y'all.
and Ken off screen. Appreciate y'all. Thank you, Dean. For
Thanks,
the
Mom.
calls. I want to say thanks to all the
Thanks,
folks
everybody.
that came into the show. Thank you so much for that. And let's support this young lady, and we're going to follow the journey.
Yes.
And we'll definitely have you back. Thanks so much for doing this again. And folks, thanks to your racing hour for this week. And we'll one last question. You said last question. What was? Where was Anthony's last question? I see that. Well, that was, she wouldn't know that. That's not the one. So what his question was that? Okay. I don't understand that question. So anyway, we're going to go on that. Thank you, Anthony, though. And appreciate you. The next show will be our sports show. And then later tonight, yes, it's Mama Said tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we'll see you then. We'll go out with some music. And let me get that pulled up real quick. Thank you for watching. This is the
Thanks, folks.
SFP Racing Hour. Salute. That is fun.
Dave and Dean record each week, spin the wheels, engines speak, tracks of fire, dust and smoke, southern skies, the throttles choke. Fast and fierce, racing souls, tearing through the endless cold, twisting metal, thunder growls, screams of tires, dirt that scowls. Crank it loud, boys, let it blast. Roads of fury racing fast. Southern Pride racing hours here. Fuel the fire, shift the gear. Every lap a rebel's dream. Gasoline, hearts and the scream. Dave and Dean crown the track. Each corner fight, ain't turning back. Crank it loud, boys, let it blast. Roads of fury racing fast. Southern Pride racing hours here. Fuel the fire, shift the gear. Nights alive, wheels embrace, burn the streets, set the pace. Hours, speed's the creed. Southern Fried racing breed. Southern Fried racing hours here. Fuel the fire, shift the gear. Nights alive, wheels embrace, burn the streets, set the pace. Hours, speed's the creed. Southern Fried racing breed.